this video, I am going to show you how you can make API calls in reactjs app. So let's begin. In To make API calls, we are using this API which has been created by me. I have created it using Node.js, Express.js, and MongoDB. So let's begin. Here is the basic documentation in order to use that API. Get all codes, get codes by category, get code by author. So we are going to use this get all codes API endpoint. Let's see how what response we get. In order to see that, let's click on try this link, and here we have the API response. Okay, in the codes array we have multiple objects which contain codes category, created, updated, ID, and so on fields. Okay, let's create our reactjs project. I'm going to use the cloud environment in order to create the reactjs project, or else you can use VS Code or your favorite text editor. Create the project. Here we have a stack list which provides us a cloud environment for React, Angular, TypeScript, whatever the technology you want to use. Okay, I'm going to click stack lists. In the front end section, here we have React, JavaScript, or else you can use React, TypeScript if you know more about TypeScript. Okay, JavaScript. Here's our React project is ready. I'm going to open it in a new tab and going to make it a separate so that I can switch between tabs. Okay, React.js ports app, and this cloud environment provides us a library loading. Okay, here we have a library loading. Let's add bootstrap so that we don't need to write much css to install missing dependencies. Okay, let's see bootstrap has installed or not. Okay, let's import bootstrap css. Import bootstrap slash dist slash css slash bootstrap dot min dot css. In order to see whether the bootstrap is installed or not, if bootstrap is installed successfully, we will get our font style changed. Here we have our font style. Our project's font has been changed. So it means bootstrap has been successfully installed. Bootstrap dependency. Okay, I'm going to just remove it. Have a write the div, and going to name it going to add a class which is a container. Inside container I am going to create a row so that I can use grid system of the bootstrap. And div, I'm going to create a card. Okay, before the card, let's do some responsive classes. Class name call 12, which means it will take full width in the mobile devices. Call, not cold, sorry, call sm6 mx auto, which mx auto means give the it will just give margin left, and it will give equal margin from the left and right. And inside the calls, I'm going to create a div and going to add a class into this div which is card, so that we'll get a rounded border card shape. Okay, what's wrong here? Did I miss a closing tag? Maybe I think I need to close it here and here too as well. Okay, here we have a card. Inside the card, h1, and here will be a code which will come from the API. So for this time I'm just writing a static code. It seems impossible until it is done. That's my favorite quote. And the author H H3, no, not H3. Let's put in a p tag. I don't know who is the author of this code. Mm, Right, unknown, N-O-W-N, okay, and class name will be text muted so that it will just make it a gray. Okay, and let's add padding so that our, our look a bit cool. Okay, it seems impossible until it is done. I think it's a very bold text. H2 will be fine. Closing tag looks cool. If we just copy this div from here, okay, now we have two divs and which are which has equal space from the left and right or margin. Okay, just going to make it center class name center and display for a bold is the word text dash center. Okay, and we have top bottom margin which will be 5 so that it will give space from top and bottom and just write font weight bold, make it bold. Okay, perfect. Let's make an API call. Okay, for that we will have to write a function. Okay, that function will be, you can name it anything you want. Get quotes from the API, and it will be a sync function so that we can use async await or the promises in this function. I'm going to write it as a fatter function. Okay, here we have a variable const API response, which will be await. So that in order to use await, we have to make this function async, which we have already done. And here API response await and fetch. I'm going to use the fetch function, or else you can use Axios or any HTTP library in order to make API calls. Let's put the our API endpoint here. I'm going to copy this and paste it here. Set semicolon here. Const JSON response. Okay, actually a fetch function returns us an array, an object of the data, but in order to use those data in our React app, we have to convert it to a JSON. So let's convert it to a JSON. Await API response dot JSON. Okay, and let's console the uh, JSON, console the console the JSON response. Okay, sorry, JSON response. Okay, we need to call this function. Let's write code for call this function on window load. So for that we need to use effect, and here we have what the function, or what is the name of our function. It is get quotes from API, and let's pass an empty dependency or empty array here. We need to import use effect as well, otherwise it will show an error. Let's see whether we get some response or not. Okay, in order to see what we are getting in the console, for that we have to use Google Chrome's developer tools. Just right click on your page, and here you see inspect. Click on inspect, and here the console. Here we have an object has uh, these keys and an array of codes. Here we have a response. Okay, let's convert this response into a state so that we can use this and render here. Okay, for that we need to import use state. Okay, let's create a new state here. Const quotes const or const quotes set quotes equal to use state, and it will be an empty array. And here set quotes, in order to add the data into this uh, quotes state, we have to use this function which is set quotes, and in this function the we have to put that quotes array, okay, quotes array into that function dot quotes, okay. And we have to use that use state here. I'm just going to remove these code which is hard coded, and um, wrap it into a six. And what is the name of our state? Quotes quote sorry quotes dot map. And inside map we have a callback function which has item and index, or you can just name it quote. Inside this, let's return the tubes we have just copied, I mean just moved from here. Okay, here we get the response. I just need to add some space in my3. It will just give vertical margin from top and bottom, okay. Instead of hard coded codes, let's control X this, and let's add dynamic value code dot, I think what, okay. Let's see what are the quote object keys, okay. Quote and author, okay. Control X, quote, sorry, quote dot quote and quote dot author. So here we have dynamic quotes which are coming from the API. That's all, guys. This is for today. I hope you have I hope you have understood that how we can make API calls in reactjs using fetch API, or else you can use Axios or any HTTP library you want. That's all for today. Thank you so much. If you like the video, please subscribe to my channel which has more videos like this, codes. And here is the playlist containing all my videos, Laravel, Flutter, reactjs apps. And in this playlist there are other videos using Axios. And here I have another application that is all about, that's about motivational quotes. But in this application I have fetched a single quote from the API which refreshes every API call you make. But in this project we have fetched all the data from the API, sorry, here. So I recommend you to watch that video too, so that you will get the better idea how we can fetch multiple data from an API and a single data from the API. So thank you so much.